The new law authorizes all members of a public body to continue participating in meetings remotely. The open meeting law's requirement that a quorum of the body and the chair be physically present at the meeting location remains suspended. For this meeting, the Hopkinton Conservation Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the town's web meeting calendar and the Conservation Commission agenda, identifying how the public may join. Additionally, the meeting may also be broadcast by HCAM through one or many of its channels or platforms. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Also, please keep yourself on mute unless and until called on by the chair. Supporting materials that have been provided to members of the commission for this meeting are available on the town's website. This meeting will feature public comment. After commission members and staff have discussed each project application on the agenda, the chair will open the discussion to public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak are asked to identify their name and address. 3 minutes will be afforded for each public comment. Each vote taken in the meeting will be conducted via roll call of the members. I will now confirm which commission members are present. Jim Cirillo.
Present.
Ted Barker Hook, present. Heather Burton.
Present.
Chair Melissa Rakos.
Present.
Melissa, I fear I mispronounce your last name every single time.
Everyone does. It's actually Recos.
Recos. I knew it was Cos, but okay. Melissa Recos, present. Ed Harrow. No. Matt Moyen. Not yet. And that's all we have for now. I will now confirm staff that are present. Judy Day, Hopkinton Conservation Administrator.
Present.
Anna Rogers, Environmental and Inspectional Services Coordinator.
Present.
And Joe Orzel of Lucas Environment.
Present.
Before passing the gavel to Melissa, I want to let members of the public know that we have a number of hearings that have been continued per applicant request. We will not be discussing 38 Downey Street, nor 8589 West Main Street, that's the Starbucks lot, nor will we be discussing 47 Oakhurst Road or 12 North Mill Street, nor will we be discussing the request for a certificate of compliance for Pulte Homes Legacy Farms North. If you're here for any of those hearings, you're welcome to stick around, but we will not be discussing it.
Through the chair, also the ANRAD for 0 Wood Street through Raymond.
Oh, is that even newer than the last email?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, a long meeting got a lot shorter.
Did.
Melissa, it's all you.
Thanks, Ted. All right, so let's see. We're at 7:12. We can talk about minutes for review, draft minutes for review. Does anyone have any comments on the May 13th, 2025 minutes? No? How about the June 26th, 2025 minutes? And unless I hear from anyone, I assume we all feel comfortable voting on these. All right, can I get a motion to approve the May 13th and the June 26th draft meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Heather?
Aye.
Ted?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And I am also an aye. All right. And let's talk about the Town of Hopkinton Wood Street Drainage Minor Project Change Request. Judy, you have a presentation on behalf of DPW, or at least a discussion to go through, correct?
Yep, through the chair. Happy to present a quick summary of the minor project change they are requesting the commission to approve tonight. Carrie Reed can also jump onto the Zoom if folks have questions. I can shoot her a quick text. But I will do my best to present what they're hoping to get. So as they've been working on the Wood Street drainage project, so this is a order approved by the commission late last year to upgrade drainage on Wood Street over by the DPW facility. They were proposing to add 2 deep sump catch basins and improve an existing catch basin by adding a hood. In digging for one of the catch basins, they ran into a gas line and sewer force main that they were not expecting in that area. And don't really have another great place to shift that deep sump catch basin location. So they are proposing to remove one of the deep sump catch basins, keep the other one, and keep the improvements proposed to the one that's already there. So that picture was the area where they aren't able to dig at. And this is the site plan. So blue is what was proposed and what they're keeping. Red is what they're proposing to take out of the approved plans. So that's the 2 deep sump catch basins, and this is the existing catch basin right on the DPW driveway cut. There is no new disturbance with this project change request. They're proposing reverting to existing conditions at this location, so there's not any new runoff resulting from not installing this deep sump catch basin. They're just not getting as much improvements as anticipated, but there is still an overall improvement to water quality treatment at this area. Happy to try to answer questions if you want me to try to get Carrie on the line. If there's anything I can't answer, happy to.
Okay, thanks, Judy. After looking at this, I mean, I think we kind of put them through the ringer to do as much as they could possibly do, during the design phase, and running into obstructions like this can be par for the course. So, I think I'm personally okay granting a project change request, not to modify that catch basin. I think overall the project is still giving us some benefit. And I think it would be a major rework to try and fit that anywhere else. So, does anyone else on the commission have any thoughts or questions or opinions, anything they want to talk about on this one? Or disagree with me? Feel free to disagree with me. That's just my 2 cents.
I agree with you, Melissa.
I agree as well.
Okay.
That makes 3.
All right. So project change request. Should we vote on this, Judy? It's more administrative.
Yeah,
okay.
I would.
All right. Can I get a motion then to approve this project change request?
So moved.
Second,
And all in favor, Jim,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. So we're all set there. Thanks, Judy, for presenting that. Being that we are past 7:15, let's move up to the new hearings. 16 Lakeshore Drive. So Ted, do you mind reading this one into the
Not
record?
at all. The Hopkinton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. virtually online to hear all persons interested in a notice of intent filed by Stephen Dana to construct a lakefront retaining wall. Location, 16 Lakeshore Drive, Assessor's Map L35, Block 17, Lot 0.
Right. Let's see. Do we have someone on the line for this one that wants to present?
Yep,
Project?
Dave Marquardone's here.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, good evening. Steve Dan is also on the call. He's owner and applicant. This is a very small lot on the west side of Lakeshore Drive, kind of diagonal from Beach Street. The lot was created in 33. The house was built in 1940. Lakeshore Drive is on the right side of the page. Lake Maspinock is on the left side. We're here this evening to replace 49 feet of existing retaining wall that's falling down. It starts at about the left rear corner of Steve's property and then goes northerly 49 feet to the intersection where the wall turns 90 degrees. Scott Heim did an investigation for BVW. He had found none. You can see the hatched area in the middle of the lot is our home. Driveway's on the left, planter in the middle of the house on the right, right of way owned by the town of Hopkinton to the right of the property. Because there's no BVW, we have bank. We've created a buffer zone, 1,500 off of the bank. So the proposed wall is going to be exactly the same location. Bottom face of the wall will match existing. The height is roughly 3.3 to 3.5 high. In the right rear corner of the lot, we have a very small area of existing trees and planters. We're proposing plantings, high bush blueberries adjacent to that same planting area. The remainder of the lot is lawn. The left rear corner is a pea stone patio. The work could be certainly done on low water. We got a low water, well, we got a water's edge in March of 25, which is roughly 19 feet west of the wall. And we propose a very small stockpile area of rock only used for the new wall. We had some comments back from DEP. We're going to rework the 100-year flood. It was the wrong year. They've just recently updated the map, so we're going to adjust our plan accordingly. So we have no wetlands. We're not cutting any trees. Access to do the work is along the right-hand side, all done off-season, if you will. PIBs, we're hoping to use the wall as our PIB.
Okay. All right, thank you. Can you just talk about what the existing wall is made out of and what is proposed for the material for the wall?
The existing wall is concrete, and the proposed wall is stone masonry with no weepholes.
Okay.
So we're matching exactly what's there for height and depth and location.
Okay. Joe, did you have a chance to look at this yet?
I did. I have a couple of comments. Quickly, I did visit the site yesterday, actually. Poked around a little bit with the auger, and I did see some hydric soils along the wall. So I'm not sure what Scott had looked at as far as with his auger holes. The vegetation, as was noted, is lawn grass, maintained lawn right to the edge. There was very little other vegetation coming up in the lawn other than the grass to try and get an idea of what else might be growing there if left to its own. But depending on location, I was seeing hydric soils anywhere from 4 to 8 feet up along the northern side of the property. It's a little lower elevation. I was seeing hydric soils up about 8 feet above the bank in that location. I was recommending that Scott take a look at those soils and delineate any BVW as might be appropriate there.
Jim, this is Dave. Can you explain again where you think the BVW may be or the hydric soils may be on the plan? Is it to the right of the dock, or are you in a corner of the property, or right along the whole?
So along,
entire-
above, in general, above the entire concrete retaining wall, anywhere, most of that area is about 4 feet-ish. Some areas right in the middle of the yard, there's a little lower dip that extends maybe 6 to 8 feet up gradient. And then on the north side, the soils there extend maybe 8 feet up
8
gradient.
feet?
Yep.
8 feet, you're saying?
Yep. Hydric soil. And that's a lower elevation in that area where where that easement comes through.
So how far off the wall are you, Jim, with your horizontally? How far off the wall are you?
8 feet.
8 feet?
Yeah, I'm talking horizontal feet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So generally 4, some spots up to 8 horizontal feet from the wall.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. I also noted that there really was no project narrative provided, and I think with any of these projects, a narrative is very useful to just help describe exactly what is being proposed and provide some details. So we're recommending that a narrative be submitted. There are a couple of minor items as far as on the forms that we recommended be corrected or just noted that they were not correct. Yes. The flood elevation was already mentioned, but that was something else we had noted. I see that the stockpile is rock, so I don't think that there's any issue with that, an erosion issue with that. Typically, we want to see those as far as away from the resource area as possible. But with it being rock, I don't think there's going to be much of an erosion issue there. I know DEP has raised some questions on if dewatering was going to be required. And had asked for some clarification on that. I know that you had stated that the water line was quite far from the bank, and if it's done at low water, I would assume that no dewatering would be required. Also clarification if any trees are going to need to be removed. I don't think so, but just wanted that to be verified. And maybe a little more detail on the plantings. I know where they're proposed, there's some existing natural vegetation or landscape, put a landscape bed there with a red maple tree. I know the commission generally likes to see those plants more along the top of bank, so that may be something that the commission wants to discuss. And PIBs were already mentioned. It was one of the other things we had noted. And also Chapter 91 license would be needed for the wall. It's any work below the mean high water line, which the mean high water line is on the wall, so that would need a Chapter 91 permit or license. And as typically we say in these reviews, we don't know if the dock or the status of the dock as far as Chapter 91, but also requested any information that the applicant may have on that. I think that covers most of the points.
Okay. Thanks, Joe. Those are good points. Dave, did you have any anything you wanted to add to
Just
this point, or-
yeah, just a couple things. Yeah, we picked up on the dewatering that will be removed. We'll clarify that there are no trees going to be cut. There will be no trees to be cut. We are filing Chapter 91. We're preparing those forms as we speak right now for the wall. We haven't really discussed the dock, but we are filing for the wall. Definitely filing for the wall. Certainly, I guess if the board has any input on the plantings, if they had any input today, we could maybe add that up in the same revision if there was anything particular they were looking for.
Okay. Yeah, my thought on the plantings and when I looked at this plan is just the commission's overall emphasis on the properties around the lake and trying to encourage and maintain a filtering buffer strip along the water's edge to kind of catch that runoff that comes down these properties towards the lake, improve the water quality in the lake. So this looks like an opportunity where that could be done. You're going to be digging up right along the wall. So not just in that corner, but along the entire stretch of the wall. It would be my desire to see some proposed plantings and following kind of that handbook that we have. I don't know if you've gotten it yet, Dave, but Judy can certainly send it over to look
Okay.
at.
Yep.
Provide some guidance on, what that might look like.
Okay, that'd be great.
Judy, do you have anything to add on this one?
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add is not sure if a narrative could also address how the project meets inland bank performance standards, as there is bank disturbance proposed. It's already disturbed, but something around that I think would be helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Does any other commission members have any questions, comments, thoughts on this application?
Yeah, Melissa, just a small thing.
Yep.
Yes, on the plantings along the shoreline, that is something we've been requesting. I can't remember, Dave, if you've been a part of one of those applications or not. And again, I think Judy has some illustrations to show kind of what we're looking for. It strikes me that often the plans we're getting, we certainly allow access to the dock. That's kind of necessary. But I think in the model illustrations Judy has, it's kind of a gently winding path so that there is no straight line lawn to the lake in any parts of it. And a lot of the applications we're getting back when they leave themselves a path to the dock, it's kind of a straight line, which then opens up a hole in what we're trying to establish as a buffer to the lake. So if, Dave, when you redraw those plantings, a gentle curve, I think will accomplish the barrier that we're looking for. That's all I have.
Thanks, Ted. Yep.
Okay.
Anyone else on the commission want to add anything or have any questions?
No, it was well said, Ted, and well said, Melissa, and we send Dave some of that typical or desired kind of landscaping, that'd be great.
Okay. All right, so Dave, you'll respond to Joe's comments and do a little work here. Yes.
Anything from abutters? Any comments on the public, on the
any-
calls?
Good call. Any questions or comments from the public on this one? You can go ahead and speak or raise your hand. Does not look like it.
The chair, we did not receive anything from abutters through our office either.
Okay. All right. That being said, Dave, do you want to continue? Our next meeting is August 19th, and after that is September 9th. Do you want to continue out to the 19th or the 9th?
You have quite a few things carried over to the 19th already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Steve Dana, do you have a preference, Steve? Let's do the 9th, September 9th, please.
Okay.
September 9th works for me too.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to continue this to September 9th?
No, so moved.
And a second?
Second.
This is Ed. I'll second.
Oh, hi, Ed.
Just wanted to make sure you knew I was here.
Got it.
Wait,
All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and I am also an aye.
Great. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Steve. Okay. Next up, we have 37 Oakhurst Road. Ted, can you read this one into the record?
You betcha. The Hopkinton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. virtually online to hear all persons interested in a notice of intent filed by David Holmes for after-the-fact work on a dock, patio, shed, and retaining wall. Location, 37 Oakhurst Road, Assessor's Map R28, Block 119, Lot 0.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, do we have a an owner or representative to present this application?
Yes, I'm here as well, Dave Marquardt. David Holmes is on the call as well.
Yes, I'm here.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think the board's talked to David once or twice already about this project. So we have no DEP number yet. No comments back from DEP. So Judy, could you go back to the other plan, the black one?
Yep.
Please. So we had done some locations for David back in December of 19 to January of 20. This is the underlying part of that multicolored plan that we had submitted. In talking to Judy, we both agreed that that was very confusing, and she also heard from some board members that we need to maybe submit that. So we created this one in black is the one from 19 and 20. The Oakhurst Road is down at the bottom. The lake is at the top. The house is right in the middle of the lot. We had were quite what I would consider quite thorough in our locations in 19 and 20. There was a lot of obstructions that we had to overcome in trying to locate some of these features. The grounds of the property were quite cluttered with a lot of debris. But certainly the retaining walls were clear. The house was clear. The greenhouse was clear. There was a long shed. I don't know if you want me to slow down a little bit and just sort of point these on a plan.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay. Judy, can you move that up just a little bit? Or down, I guess, more towards, there we go, yep. Perfect. So the house is that rectangle in the middle, driveways right off of Oakhurst, pretty large driveway. That little dashed line from the left front corner of the house to the street is sewer service. In front of the house, we had plantings at the left front corner of the house, a wooden patio, just a little bit, there we go, right in front of that, a boulder to the right of that. And then we had along the left-hand side of the house, actually over the property line, was a very large deck. I want to think there was 3 decks at the time, a porch in the back of the house in the middle, a shed to the right of the porch. I'm sorry, a deck to the right of the porch, another deck to the right of that deck. And underneath that deck, going towards the right rear corner of the lot, was this long, skinny shed and building. That whole, it's a kind of a funny shape, all the way over the lot line in the back. It goes all the way, there we go, yep, all the way up and around. I kind of remember that the retaining walls are made out of timber. We had a fire pit with a patio. We had a series of three docks, three docks and a wooden deck that ran parallel to one of the retaining walls. And in between all this was clutter and debris. I mean, significant clutter and debris. I think David has maybe shown you folks in the past some of those pictures. So then we, after David contacted us after his visit with you, with the commission, and then we created kind of a red overlay. If we could go to the next one, Judy, in red, please. Here we go. Down a little bit towards, there we go, yeah. So the house, there's our house. The driveway, we didn't get all of the driveway, but it was significantly smaller than what was there originally. In the front of the house, there's some pavers and walkways, a small retaining wall with 4 little pillars sitting right about on the buffer line. As we go to the back of the property, the deck that was on the left side of the house that was over the line has been removed. All those things on the back and the black one from 2019, 2020 have been removed. This is what's been built today. A smaller deck, a patio underneath the deck, right at the back line of the house, back edge of the house. Down a little bit, Judy, if you could. There we go. The shed, that long shed underneath the old deck that extended to the right rear corner, obviously has been taken out, and David put a small shed highlighted with the hatch at the right rear corner. The black thickened line on the left side off into the water is the existing timber retaining wall. And then to the right of that is a retaining wall. To the right of that is the wall in red running parallel. Here we go. Yeah, that's a retaining wall. And then the existing dock that's out into the water. So David, I've done some comparisons from the amount of kind of impervious that was there before, to the best that we can, to what's there now, not just in the buffer, but the lot itself. We're down, we've reduced the amount of impervious, not including the walkways and so forth, but the house, the decks, the docks, the patios, the shed, and comparing everything to the old, we're down 31% on impervious from what was there before. Certainly, he did it without a permit, but it's, kind of think from what I remember, and I do remember the clutter, but it's a great improvement to what was there. But nevertheless, a filing had never taken place. So those are kind of the plan in black was from 19, and this one here is in 25, and it seemed to make sense to talk about these individually. We can look at the one together, but this kind of gives you a better idea, I think, a little simpler as to kind of where things are and where they sit on the property.
Okay. Yeah, the 2 drawings are helpful. Thank you for going through that. So it's always unfortunate to be and difficult for the commission to be looking at projects that are after the fact, coming before us. Joe, did you look at this project at all yet?
Yes, I did visit the site yesterday. And I submitted a report, but it was late today. It was after 5 o'clock today, so I'm sure no one's had a chance to look at it yet. I can touch on a few of the items in the report if you'd like.
Yeah, if you could touch on the high points, that'd be great.
So I did check for any resource area other than the bank as far as hydric soils or BVW. Didn't see any, but I also noted that the soils were likely fairly recently disturbed. So hydric soil development would have been probably eliminated if there was anything there, but didn't see any evidence nonetheless. There is an erosion control barrier on site, remains in place. I didn't see any erosion issues. Some minor erosion up at the end of the driveway where water comes off the driveway, but it's minor and it dissipates into the grass. So no sediments being carried down toward the resource area. As with the previous report, there was no narrative submitted, and Dave's discussion was very helpful. It'd be helpful to have that in a narrative to be able to see exactly what was there previously, what's changed. Having the plan separated does help with that. I guess I have a question, and just hearing the review of the existing plans of the 2019 plan. I know looking at some of the aerial photographs on Google Earth, I don't know if what's shown on the 2019 plan was some of that was relatively new at that time, because it looks like there was less hardscape going before 2019, like back in 2018. While there's a lot of clutter on site that covers a lot of things up, it does look like there's quite a bit less hardscape. So I don't know if you're comparing what's there now compared to what was possibly added in 2019-20. Maybe should be looking before that for the addition of hardscape on the site. I think it was already noted previously about the bordering lands have been flooding the appropriate flood zone. That should be shown on the plans. Also, request that the applicant indicate when or which of the no disturb zone distances should apply to this project, whether it met the definition of being developed under a definitive subdivision plan approved by the planning board before November 1st, 1995. Obviously, the original house was there before that, but whether or not it was part of a subdivision type plan or not would determine whether or not there's a 25 or a 50-foot no disturb zone. And those should be added on the plan. The area proposed for planting of high bush blueberry that was on the original plan, the double plan, is currently consists of stone. So it's just looking for some detail on how that was going to be prepared for the planting of high bush blueberry. And I think as happens some of these projects on the lake, much of what we're looking at is actually shown beyond the property bound. I know that's happened in some other ones that we've looked at, and it looks like that's been developed since likely since the property was developed. But as shown in the plan, the northern property bound is well inland of what is being what has been developed, and no permanent immovable barriers are indicated. Just another topic for the commission to discuss. And as with the previous site, we're looking at a Great Pond and Chapter 91 license would be needed for the walls. And I note also that the plan does not show the existing dock that is present, so there should be a Chapter 91 license likely for that also. So I think that covers the high points.
Okay, thanks, Joe. That's helpful. Judy, do you have anything to add before I open it up to the commission for discussion?
Yeah, through the chair.
Yep.
So it looks like through conversations with chair and vice chairs that the beach area between the two plans is larger in the current plan. So looks like that should be included in the tally of after the fact work and the calculations for bank alteration and whether any fill was added here be accounted for. And then I would again request that a narrative specify if this work meets inland bank performance standards, and if not, what kind of restoration and mitigation is being proposed, which might be required if it doesn't. And that's it for me.
Okay.
Oh, and no DEP number yet.
Okay, no DEP number, and that means no DEP comments
Yep.
received yet. So obviously we need to hear from them. I think my thoughts, especially with so much work being, kind of beyond that property line in the lake area and in the bank area, this is not just a local bylaw Concom jurisdictional request here. I think this has got a lot of state overlay that's going to have to weigh in on whether this work is permittable even after the fact. So we'll definitely be looking for DEP's comments and thoughts and weighing those heavily for this consideration. Like Judy said, I'd looked at the aerials, gone through and looked at some of the 2019 versus today, and it does look like there's substantial work done right along the lakefront there. And like you said, Dave, I mean, there's some impervious area that was removed throughout the site, but I don't know if that captures the impact along the bank. And the additional, impacts that were done there. I think the lakefront, like we've talked about to other applicants, is really a big focus for us. This area that's between the water's edge and a little bit upland, and trying to restore that to natural conditions to really address water quality in the lake. Converting impervious area to nice lawn sounds good from an impervious perspective and some water uptake, but that also means that there's nutrients that are coming off that nice green grass and washing right down over these patio surfaces across this expanded beach into the lake. Really, I think what has been done here is quite the opposite of what we're looking for, and this is why it can be really frustrating to the commission to get these after the fact applications that we're supposed to consider, because if we have a chance to weigh in on this from the get-go, then it can be a better project from an environmental perspective and for the overall health of the lake that you're ultimately trying to enjoy. Obviously, you buy a house on the lake for a reason. You want to enjoy the lake, but we need to responsibly maintain our properties here. So I guess I'll give a chance, Mr. Holmes. Do you have anything that you want to add? At this point?
Well, yes, it sounds like I'm being accused of doing something wrong back in 2020 when I bought this house, and yet, I met with the building department numerous times. I actually met with conservation in the office with Mike and Chuck at the desk, and that individual thanked me tremendously for all the trash I removed that was in the lake itself. The previous owner had a shopping cart of golf balls and was hidden them in the water. I can still find some today. The walls that you've seen, there's no encroachment from what was pre-existing. The beach, we don't know exactly. When I hired Mark on, it was more to determine whether I was going to do tear the house down. So we were doing a building envelope. So everything we would discuss is not 100% exact, as best as it can be. It is, but that beach, I'm pretty sure, did not encroach, and I was under strict rules with Mike and Chuck never to expand or build out on. So all I did was always remove everything possible and clean up that lake. That was my sole intention. Now, when the lake water lake wall caved in this spring, I didn't even think about going to conservation because I thought it was falling under emergency repair, which caused also the sinking of the patio stone. So in doing that, I also removed 275 feet of additional rotted deck and ramps and things from the leftover from the previous owner, and removed more trash, which I think I showed pictures of Judy of the trash that was there back then. So everything I've done for this property was to the betterment of it and to the betterment of the lake. I don't use phosphates along my grass. I use it in the front, but not in the back. I've been doing nothing but trying to improve the quality of the lake. It was horrific when I bought this. And so, it's tough to hear you say, "Oh, I did this without anyone's permission or approval." I had more eyes on this property than anyone, including the zoning board member that lived right next door to me. I had the water department driving by all the time because he lives on the street. I was in constant conversations with Chuck and Mike because the property was so questionable at the time. And if anyone said, "By the way, David, you have to go through conservation," including the conservation member that I met back in 2020, I would have done so. Okay? I've done nothing but the right thing for this property. And I've been in this town for 29 years, and I've done so much for this town. This comes from events, from building the high school float forum and everything else, coaching, you name it. I'm not like my neighbors who just decide to build a bar right down on the water and add things. You'll notice nothing was expanded. Everything was taken away. In my own calculations, I took 1,983 feet of exterior structures. I removed those from the property. So this is with all eyes on, including the town. And I understand. I'm trying to work with you, and you guys know I am. I'm allowing on the property. I've been talking with Judy quite a bit, and I'm agreeing to this NOI, but I really am struggling with being accused of doing something I shouldn't have 5 years ago. So I guess sorry, I hope I'm not being rude, but it's tough to hear after everything I've done for this property and how many expenses I've incurred. The oil tanks and car engines and propane tanks and carpets and everything else I've removed. Mm-hmm. I'm just kind of, I don't know, I guess speechless at this point in time. And I obviously default to you guys, whatever you recommend. I am for planting more shrubs. that previous one where the, excuse me, the blueberries were going along that rock there. And that was way back because when we were making all the changes, that side had some erosion going on. So I put that there to prevent it from going into the lake. So that's kind of remnants of the old. It doesn't do that anymore. And I can remove it, put blueberry plants there, but as you can tell, it's kind of half on my property, half not. My suggestion really, it's up to you guys, is to put more plantings along where I removed that dock and the ramp on the right side. And where I had a patio going to the ramp, I no longer need it, and it would look even better if that was plants and shrubs and wildlife. So I'm definitely willing and able to work with you, but as you can see from, I don't know, 95% of this, nothing was ever changed or altered or, built out on. And I know for a fact that, I don't know to the foot, but I know I didn't encroach on the beach that much. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, appreciate the work of removing trash and whatnot. And like I said, the maintaining a vegetated buffer along the shoreline is really what the commission is trying to encourage and wants to see versus lawn and impervious surfaces. So anything like that that we can do along the edge there is would be helpful. I think just looking back from what we can, because we weren't there in 2019 or whenever, the work was done, it appears that there was a lot more vegetation along the shoreline at that time. Maybe it was mixed with trash. I don't know.
It was.
We
It
don't
definitely
have
was.
pictures. There's no pictures in their file. There's nothing, to document or show that for us other than looking at, historical aerials and that's what we see is vegetation along the shoreline that's not there anymore.
I have over 200 pictures I can forward to you of all the trash I removed.
Yeah, I
My
mean,
neighbors, if you want to talk to my neighbors.
no, I don't, we don't really need, other, that, but
They were doing dumpster counts for me. It was insane, the amount of trash we hauled out of there.
yeah,
You just would put like carpets and everything, then bury it with dirt.
yeah,
So all of a sudden you take a shovel, you dig down 6 inches, and you're hitting trash everywhere. The whole back along this whole side of the house. He buried the dirt up above the sills around the house with trash. He was a very sick person. And in hindsight, I should have just, done the tear down. But I didn't want to build up. I didn't want a 2-story colonial on this property. I wanted to keep the feeling of a lake house and the looks of a lake house. And and then, when this wall, which is this old wall of his, because he never did anything right and it caved in, I guess the one hindsight is, which I still didn't know because I thought I was still I could repair my own wall. That in hindsight, that's a mistake of not consulting you guys quickly before the water came up and allowing me to fix it. But to the betterment of the property, I did remove 275 feet of rotted docks and ramps. So, I still feel, like I did the right thing still for the property when I did this.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, that's appreciated. We're at this point in time, we're looking forward and trying to, position the lake for water quality, for longevity in the long run. The trash is out and that's great, but protecting the shoreline, like I said, with the vegetation and the least amount of impervious and beach and whatnot is what's going to, in the long run, benefit the lake and all the properties around it. So we're just looking forward here, not backward. That being said, I'll open it up to other commission members for thoughts and comments. Obviously, like I said, we need to hear from DEP on this one because, I think it's not only in our hands. Like I said, I think we have some state jurisdiction here in the act that needs to be weighed in for these, I don't know, improvements, I guess you'd say.
Sure, Melissa, through the chair, I have a question or two.
Yep.
The first is kind of a paperwork thing, and maybe it's for Judy and Anna. Since the public hearing notice doesn't mention the expansion of a beach, do we need new paperwork, or because a retaining wall, according to Mr. Marquardon's plans, was removed, can we call that retaining wall work so we don't need new paperwork? I don't know how that works. The script I read doesn't mention a beach. It does mention retaining wall, and I assume it's referring to the red retaining wall, but.
Through the chair.
Yes, Judy.
Yeah, I think since we didn't notice that when we went to the paper with the hearing notice, I believe it was written to say with associated site work. So that kind of is a catch-all for other things that may have occurred alongside the after the fact work. And abutters were notified, with that language, or at least they could look it up through the hearing notice. So we can look into it, but I'm not sure that we need to re-advertise.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're safe on that front, paperwork-wise.
Yeah.
And then I have a question for Joe or Mr. Marquardon. I've not been to the property, but I tried to look at some aerials, past, present. And in the red plan, it labels a nice swath of existing lawn. But from the aerial photographs, at least up by the lake, it looks like a gray lawn, like a pavement or a paver's color lawn. Is that truly grass all the way to the lake? Because the images I saw from above didn't look that way.
Are we talking between the fire pit and the right side there?
Sure. I mean, there's the swath that goes from the house down to the lake, and there's an existing lawn notation right up next to the retaining wall above the notation that says previous concrete walk. The aerial photographs I saw up there, it all looked paved or pavered, not grass. Is this plan correct?
I think if you follow his red line where it shows the existing patio, and then from the right of that line, it's grass all the way to the patio to the right, closer to the shed. I'm looking at it myself too.
So
the pavers start.
I can see that. That looks better than the one I saw before.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chair, this is the lawn, so this is the grass.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what I thought I was seeing before, I either misremembered or I misunderstood the photo I was looking at before. So that would mean that the red plan is pretty accurate. Okay. And then could you remind me, please, Mr. Holmes, what happened with the expansion of the beach? You mentioned a couple times that you'd never added anything, but it looks like from Mr. Marquardon's plans that the beach is significantly expanded.
It's hard. I don't think I did. Whatever was there, if that was removed, it was because it was in the water and had to be removed. And I know just from what I've done on that property everywhere, I did not expand for my own betterment of the things. I kept things as is. So to my knowledge, that what it was there is not accurate in my mind, but I'd hate to say 100% because 5 years ago, I could pull up pictures, find old pictures and try to show you that, where it was.
Maybe I should ask Mr.
Because
Mark.
there's, it's highly unlikely that a expanded that much. Now, with everything going on that property and the removal of so much trash, that whole area where you see the blueberry plants and this is previous mulch planter bed, packed, literally packed with trash, 3 feet above the water table. So if we kept digging and pulling it out, then putting the wall back, I don't know whether it's foot this way, foot that way. All I do know is that we just kept removing more and more debris out of there.
Mr. Markwood,
Like one of the pictures you guys have shows a whole, on my neighbor's side yard, nothing but trash barrels.
right,
And other items there.
right. Mr. Markwood, you drew previous retaining wall there, but Mr. Holmes says that wasn't there. Is there, what's going on?
No, the wall was there in 19 and 20. What you don't see is a line for the beach.
Right,
Okay,
and the
this-
beach stops at the wall, it looks like.
Well, I don't draw a line on the beach. On the left side of the,
I see a note, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, I should let you speak. But I do see a note that says existing beach area.
you do,
And
but
now
you
I
don't.
see a new red line that is an arc that seems to indicate the current beach area.
Yeah, the red is the beach today.
Yeah,
Okay, the black one, there's no left line for the beach. I don't have a location on the beach. Okay,
because it hits a wall.
yeah, but between the end of the wall, if you draw a straight line from there to the porch going left, I don't know where that is. Okay. You wouldn't. I didn't draw a line because I probably didn't see a line. I didn't see where the beach was back in 19 and 20. Okay. I just got the water's edge. The extent of the beach, I don't show that. I'm not using the trash as a crutch, but the
Okay,
trash was substantial. A lot of these features we had to dig out by hand to do our best to find corners of patio and pavers back then. So I can't answer the question, and it's also been 5 years, but I don't remember the extent of the beach.
all right.
I think this is helpful that we do have his work from 5 years ago, guys, too, You can see the before and after, and you can kind of see, hey, I didn't, build a bar right on the beach, you know what I mean? So,
But you did put a fully paved patio right on the beach.
yes, but there was also patio there prior, and there was a fire pit there prior. And I don't even remember now where the old one was or where mine is, to be honest with you, but it was encompassed most of that area anyways. And also, again, I was not told to talk to you guys back then, or I would have.
Okay. I guess that's all I have for now, Melissa.
Okay. Thanks, Ted. Any other comments, questions from commission members?
This is Ed.
Yes, Ed.
The aerial picture has answered one of my questions, but my other question is, this is a great pond, am I correct?
Yep.
And so and you've made references to state oversight. So I just wanted to make sure I understood what was going on. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else on the commission? Well, I'll open it up to public comment at this point in time. Anyone from the public has any questions or comments, you can speak or raise your hand. public comment. All right. With that being said, I think we need to take a look at Joe's report from today. So we haven't had a chance to look at that yet, and you as well, Dave. And
Yep.
then see what DEP has to say for comments.
Through the chair,
Yes.
can I request some current condition photos in lieu of an actual site walk? I don't think we need a site walk if we can get some quality photos. So we're not relying on aerials to try to figure out what things look like today.
Yeah, Ted, you're referring to photos over time or current?
I'm
photos?
interested in right now. I think we have a lot of photos of the garbage. We're well aware that Mr. Holmes cleaned things up and that's wonderful and the neighbors are happy. I'm trying to understand more fully what things look like right now, what the beach looks like right now, what the patio materials are right now. The aerial photographs only tell me so much.
Yep.
Through the chair.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah, I do have site photos. Unfortunately, we're having issues uploading to our server. So I wasn't able to get those into you today, but we will be submitting those as soon as that's fixed. And I could share some photos with you if you like. Screen share.
Through the chair.
Yes, Ted.
Joe, that's great. My own answer would be maybe once we get them uploaded, we can take some time to look at them rather than go through all of them right now. I'm pretty sure we're continuing this anyway, so.
We are. Yep. No, that sounds good. I think it would be good to look at them in the context with the letter as well. So from Joe. All right. I think that's it, unless you have anything else, Dave. No, good.
No, not at the moment, no.
Okay. So let's continue this out if you're amenable to that. We have August 19th as our next meeting, and then we have September 9th. I'm not sure how fast DEP
Yeah,
number and comments in,
yeah.
or how long we've
David?
had it.
David, do you have a preference?
I'm traveling again. Take care of my folks, so I won't be back till this 15th or 16th. Depends on if you need me. But I think I'm coming back at 15th. So if whatever you need from me, I can probably still try to do from Florida, taking care of my folks.
It would be on the 9th.
The 9th of August?
No, September.
Oh, I'm sorry, that would be tomorrow or in a few more days. Oh, September 19th.
9th.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
it's either
again, my apologies.
that's okay. It's either August 19th or September 9th.
Also 9/9. Okay. Whatever works best for you guys. I'm not inclined. I don't really know the scope of what else you need from my involvement, but whatever it takes for you guys to get everything up, sooner the better, so I can try to get the patio work done prior to the winter. So I guess that would be my only 2 cents. And I apologize from earlier if I seem to get a little heated, but I do greatly appreciate all the work you guys do for our town.
Thank you.
I'd like to recommend September 9th.
Okay. Can I get a
Please.
motion then to continue this out to September 9th?
I'll make that
So
motion.
moved. I'll second.
Give it to Jim, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Thanks, Ted.
Ed? Jim?
All right.
Ted?
Ted is an aye.
Heather?
Aye.
And I am also an aye. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a very good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Next up, we have RAC Hopkinton, 0 Lumber Street. Ted, will you do the honors of reading?
I gotcha.
reading this.
The Hopkinton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. virtually online to hear all persons interested in a note of intent filed by REC Hopkinton LLC to construct a commercial building with associated site work. Location 0 Lumber Street, Lot 4, Assessors Map R23, Block 73, Lot 4.
Thank you. Do we have a representative to present on this proposal?
Sophie Esdale with Goddard Consulting.
Hello.
Hello, would I be able to share my screen?
You can, Judy, if you want to turn it over.
Let me just give you sharing permissions. All right, should be all set.
Okay, great. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So hello, my name is Sophie Esdale and I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting, representing the applicant REC Hopkinton for the notice of intent submitted for 0 Lumber Street, Lot 4 in Hopkinton. So just to orient you with the existing conditions of the site is undeveloped and fully vegetated. It's about 3.46 acres. It's bordered by Lumber Street to the west of the property, Independence Place to the north of the property, and undeveloped upland and bordering vegetated wetland to the east and south of the property. The bordering vegetated wetland boundary was delineated by Goddard Consulting on November 26, 2024. So for the proposed construction in this notice of intent, the applicant is proposing the construction of a 1-story office and retail building. It's about 2,400 square feet in area, and this includes associated access drive, parking, stormwater infrastructure, and utilities, as well as landscaping. All proposed construction work is outside of the bordering vegetated wetland. Portions of the building are within the 100-foot buffer zone from 75 feet to 100 feet, and within the no-build zone, portions of the infiltration system and portions of the proposed sidewalk, which is a requirement of the master plan special permit decision approval criterion D30 from the Hopkinton Planning Board. And then lastly, within the no disturb zone, there are portions of that sidewalk along the entire frontage of the western boundary that are proposed within the no disturb zone. So for proposed stormwater drainage, I also have John Federico on here from G&H to answer any questions pertaining to stormwater. But essentially, this project is proposing an underground infiltration basin with a surrounding infiltration trench along this section here. If you can see it, it's in light purple surrounding the area of impervious surfaces. And then portions of that infiltration system are within the no-build zone due to septic system constraints such as soil, groundwater, and the system offsets. For proposed erosion control barriers and PIBs, the limit of work will be encompassed by the erosion control barrier of mulch or compost, filter stock, and silt fencing. We had previously proposed it as straw wattle and silt fence, but per Judy's comments, we have swapped this out for mulch or compost, filter stock, and that silt fence. We've also added the PIBs of cedar posts along the limit of work, spaced about 30 feet apart. This was not within the original site plan, but we've since submitted updates with those PIBs on the site plan as well. So for proposed landscaping, we do have some plantings that are outside and within the 100-foot buffer zone. There are a few that are within the no-build zone. These native plantings include 6 red maple plants, 5 white spruce, 7 service berries, and 20 creeping juniper, which are all native plants. We previously had Norway spruce as opposed to white spruce, which was not in the approved list of species planting for Hopkinton. And then we also had dwarf mugo pine, which is also not in that list. So we swapped that out for white spruce and serviceberry. So for proposed impacts, as previously mentioned, no portion of the building is proposed within the no build or no disturb zones, only within the 75 to 100-foot buffer zone. Work within the no build zone includes portions of the off-site sidewalk extensions, the infiltration system, and utilities. And then work within the no disturb zone includes portions of the off-site sidewalk extensions. And also just for some brief numbers of the area that's being impacted of the buffer zone. So from 75 to 100 feet of the buffer zone, about 13,461 square feet are proposed to be impacted. From within the no build zone, about 7,754 square feet is proposed to be impacted, and within the no disturb zone, about 1,002 square feet is proposed to be impacted through that offsite sidewalk area. So I would be happy to answer any questions from the commission at this point.
All right, thank you. It was a good presentation.
Thank you.
So we don't have a DEP number yet, and we're waiting on PAR for the stormwater review. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So we need those couple things to come through. Joe, did you have a chance to look at this? I don't remember seeing a letter.
We did submit a letter this morning.
This morning, okay.
I will say we were just about to send that out when we saw the revised information come through. So our letter does not include any of the newer revised information that was received today from the applicant.
Okay.
I did get out to the site yesterday, reviewed the entire wetland delineation. Most of the line looks pretty good. There's a few spots where I have some questions. Primarily the area from about flag A2 to A51, which is the southwestern portion of that wetland delineation. I felt a number of those flags were generally low from 8 to 15 feet. From there, the flags are accurate, with the exception of a few scattered flags. No stretch of the delineation I thought was off, but there were a few scattered locations where I thought it might have been low by anywhere from 4 to 10 or 12 feet in a few locations. I'd be happy to meet with Goddard at the site to review any of those if they would like. Also note that the first flag A1 in the southwest corner, that was, I couldn't verify that when it was on the ground. That was in tattered and shreds, and so that would need to be replaced, and would recommend that line get extended to the property line along Lumber Street. Also note that invasive species are fairly common on the site. Bittersweet, Musciflora rose, Japanese knotweed along Lumber Street and along the existing gravel access or dirt access path into the site, and also glossy buckthorn is very common. So we recommend a construction and post-construction invasive species management plan. I'll make a comment now. There's a note in our review letter regarding notifying the butters in Holliston. You can ignore that. That's not true somehow. That's an error on our part. But we just verify that all butters have been notified accurately. A couple of minor clerical typo issues that were pointed out, nothing significant. You had mentioned the change in the species. That was something that we had also noted. I don't know if there's any idea, if the applicant has any idea of how many trees will be cut from the buffer zone or from the no build or no disturb zones. That might be something the commission is interested in. I know that's been asked for in some other sites.
Mhm.
And noted that PIBs were not noted on the, or indicated on the plan. So we recommend those be shown. And I don't know if that's something that was added in the revised plan or not. And I think that pretty much hits most of the points in our review.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Through the chair, can I ask Joe for one clarification before we move on?
Sure.
Joe, I thought I heard you say flags A2 to A51. Did you mean 1-5?
No, it's A2 to flag A5-1. So there's a flag.
5-1.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
okay.
an A5
All
and
right.
there's an A5-1.
Okay, so it's less than I feared it was. That.
Yeah, it's not through 51. No, it's A5.
Oh,
Two,
okay.
five.
I didn't hear the dash. I assumed that you flipped the 5 and the 1.
I didn't say the dash. That's on me.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, Melissa.
That's okay. Those little things can make a big difference.
Yeah.
But yes, regarding the flags, it is a tight site, so I'd say that's important to get those squared away. If you can coordinate with Goddard before we look at this again, that'd be great. I don't have any particular questions, comments on this one. I think it's presented pretty well. It looks like you're meeting all the performance standards. Judy, do you have anything to add that I'm missing?
Yeah, through the chair, just 2 comments. So this is part of a previously larger commonly owned parcel that stretches from Lumber Street all the way over to Chamberlain Wayland. In the past, the commission has asked for a cumulative impact exhibit showing how much buffer zone's been proposed to be disturbed through proposals and past developments. So we did ask that they update this exhibit, and it is in the public folder. So that's available to see cumulatively how much has been disturbed and is now being proposed to be disturbed on this one parcel that had been commonly owned.
Okay.
The other thing I would mention, I received some verbal comments from an abutter who is concerned about excessive tree removal in the areas closest to the street, as well as lighting at the street level. Lighting, not so much a conservation issue, but just a heads up to the applicant that those were concerns brought to me. So, as much as trees can be preserved along the street and lighting, not be directed into neighboring properties, that might come up during the planning board process. But yep, that's it for me.
Thanks, Judy. Does anyone on the commission have any questions, comments on this at this time?
Through the chair.
Yes, Ted.
This is relatively minor, but as long as we're here and we're talking about it, I'm just curious why the PIBs are as far away as they are from the edge of the pavement. Why is that extra space within the no disturb zone allowed to be disturbed? I don't think the slide we have up right now shows the PIBs, but I think the plan I'm looking at on my iPad shows it.
Yeah, so we place the PIBs along the limit of work. If that's not optimal to the commission, we can make that minor modification.
Well, I don't want to speak for the commission, but yeah, I would love if once the work is completed, I would love for those PIBs to be closer to what's the pavement and let the rest of it return as best as it can.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with some assisted plantings or something. It's a relatively small piece for this whole project, but I figure I threw it out there as long as we're here right now.
Yeah, no, that's a good call, Ted. I think if they're closer especially if there's some new this one doesn't have the proposed plantings on it. So it would be interesting to see the PIB line compared to the landscape plan and
Yeah,
yeah,
so
maybe.
the PIBs are right. Sorry if it's a little bit zoomed out, but the plantings are
Okay.
right along here, and then the PIBs are kind of surrounding them.
Okay.
Through the chair, just for visibility, might make sense to pull the PIBs in front of the plantings, and that gives them extra protection as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Anyone else?
Through the chair, this is Ed.
Yes, Ed.
For those of us with old tired eyes and small monitors, are proper drawings available at Town Hall to be looked at?
Yes, they are.
In regards to the tree count, that was one of Joe's comments. I can't remember if we've required that. I mean, I don't think it's a requirement in our regulations. Correct me if I'm wrong, Judy. I can look it up too. Yeah.
Not sure if it's a requirement, but you have been asking it for previously undisturbed sites.
Yeah. Did we have or Joe, do you have a size of tree that you'd recommend? Is it like 6-inch DBH or?
I'm trying to remember what was previously asked. I'd have to double check on that.
Okay.
But well, I don't want to say because I don't want to contradict what was previously requested.
Yeah, so maybe we can look into that and let you know. So because I think, I mean, we have an abutter with a concern on the trees too. I think it would be helpful to know what we're looking at here.
Sure.
Are there any questions or comments from the audience? You can speak or raise a hand. Do not see any, so.
Through the chair, Melissa can.
Yep.
Maybe you could help me out with this one. So again, just trying to build a little bit of understanding about past work that's been done in the no-build zone. So it looks like off-site sidewalk, infiltration system, and utilities. Is that typically something that's approved by the Conservation Commission? I'm just trying to, again, kind of learn and build an understanding of the history as we go along here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are all things that we've allowed. Trying to.
Through the chair.
Yes, Judy.
Generally, if work is proposed that doesn't meet those performance standards, we ask for an alternatives analysis, which we do have for this project, and any mitigation or offsets that prove the work isn't going to have an adverse effect on the resource area through not meeting the performance standards. So those are things that the commission can judge whether that's been met.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I can find that clip in the regs too and send it to you. Anything else? So our next meeting is September 19th or August 19th and then September 9th. Sophie, what would you like to continue out to?
August 19th would be great.
Okay. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. All right, thank you, and we'll see you at the next hearing.
Great, thank you.
All right. So that was all we had for new hearings. Next up on our continued hearings, we have 27 Jamie Lane, notice of intent continuation. Do we have anyone here representing the project?
I am here.
Hi, Joe.
Good evening.
Good evening. What do you have for?
Since we met last, the applicant has made a major change in direction. I think market forces, the cost of supplies, the delays associated with this have caused him a great concern. So what he has asked me to do is scale back the project dramatically. You may recall that the plan that Judy has put up along the southerly edge through the lawn, we had an access to a 20 by 24 addition that involved relocating those plant materials and then replanting those. So we had stockpiles, we had erosion controls. That addition has gone away. That will no longer be built. All we are really talking about is fixing the issues related to the two areas where construction started out of sequence, a little ahead of schedule. That being the removal of the rotting deck in the rear and the front entryway, the stairs, and the entry into the front of the home where the excavation sits now. So what we'd like to talk to the commission about is rebuilding those stairs in the front, backfilling that area, and then building the deck in the rear. The applicant, DJ, has been asked by Michael Savard at the building department to move that proposed deck 6 feet southerly, 6 feet closer to the resource area. So what we're talking about associated with that is a couple of new sonotubes, a couple of new deck footings. So hand digging the deck footings, pouring the concrete, and then putting the 6x6 supports for the deck, which will be 6-7 feet in the air. So minor handwork in the back, and then the construction of those new stairs in the front. Dramatically different with regard to site impacts than what was originally proposed.
Okay. So this is looking like a pretty minor project then at this point in time. There were some calculations, I forget on one of the plans. So now we're looking at, what was it, a net increase of like 5 square feet of impervious area?
I guess, yeah, the only thing would be that the portico roof. No.
Okay.
There was 65 odd square feet of disturbance in the riverfront area. Some of that inside the 100-foot buffer. And the only thing was the little roof over the portico in the front.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes, Judy.
Joe, I think we were just a little confused by the revised bylaw supplement form. Now it's saying 5 square feet of buffer zone disturbance. But if that's the whole back deck, even though there was deck there previously, we would think that the whole thing should be included in the form.
We were talking on this end, the site work was the digging of the post holes for the deck footings. The deck is was 12 by 14 before, now is 12 by 12 now. So that is a net reduction. So it appeared to me the focus would be new work, and the only new work proposed were these footings. That's the reason we went that direction.
Okay. Yeah, it's minor still, but I think looking at disturbance, you know, the old deck was pulled out. Is it a covered deck or uncovered deck?
Uncovered, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, then I think the footings is the only impervious. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have any questions or comments. Does anyone else on the commission have any questions or comments on this one?
To the chair.
Yes, Joe.
Just wanted to make a couple of comments. Although the project has been substantially reduced, there were a couple of items that I just wanted to point out may remain for the commission's consideration, or
Okay.
maybe not. One of them was the extensive area, huge pile of grass clippings that was located roughly 20 to 25 feet from the wetland boundary. And the commission may want that to be addressed. Although no work is happening in that area. It is a massive pile of grass clippings, probably from a number of properties. The work that is proposed is still in the riverfront area, and as was discussed, it is pretty minimal. Generally, we will recommend that there is some narrative provided regarding how the proposed work meets the performance standards for redevelopment. And in this case, I think that would be a pretty easy hurdle, but I think for the record, it would be recommended.
Okay.
And just a question on the PIBs. I think there's 2 on the plan, and whether the commission feels that any of those are sufficient or any more will be needed. And I think that's all the remaining comments really that we had.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I apologize. I forgot you had a couple of things there, but they're important things.
Through the chair.
Yes.
The most recent item first. The group may recall that this was the subject of a certificate of compliance request back in November. So at the request of the commission, 3 PIBs were added behind the home, and we proposed 2 more on the southerly side. So there will be 5 across the back of that site. With regard to the performance standards, the area within the riverfront is less to be disturbed is less than 1% of the area on the site, well below the threshold 5,000 square feet or 10% of the area. The site doesn't appear to have the look of a degraded property. No junkyard, no gravel pit, no commercial operation. Sure seems like the revised plan certainly is well under any of the thresholds and doesn't warrant that extra scrutiny with regard to performance standards. And the applicant is still willing to remove that leaf pile and let that area vegetate naturally.
Okay. Judy, do you have any thoughts on the performance standard narrative?
Yeah, through the chair, I think I would agree with Joe. Good to have it, you know, even though common sense says it's below the threshold, good to have it spelled out. Because there is still work being proposed in Riverfront, and I do believe impervious, under houses, driveways count towards it being considered degraded. So, just be good to have that documented.
Yep. Okay. That makes sense. So I think Joe, mark it on if we can get a short narrative put together for our file, that would be appreciated
Okay.
to close this one out. Does anyone else on the commission have any thoughts they want to share? Questions? Anyone in the audience? No. Okay, so can we continue this out one more time just to get that narrative to complete the file? If I could get a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Through the chair, we should specify a date for
A
when it's
motion.
continued.
Yes, to August 19th. We revised the motion to August 19th continuation.
I will move August 19th continuation.
Second.
All right, all in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and I'm also an aye. Right. Next up we have, so we continued Ravenwood LLC. We're up to 109 Winter Street, amended notice of intent continuation. So this, I believe, is Mr. Marquardt again.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you want to share your updates?
Sure. Since we met last, we were able to field locate the wetlands delineation that Joe Orzel had mentioned north and west of the property. You can see it highlighted there at the top of the page. On the other side of Winter Street, curls back southwesterly before heading over to Whitehall. That pushes the associated buffers down southerly, and about 520 additional square feet of buffer zone is impacted by the driveway reconstruction.
Okay.
Then also in the file, we fixed WPA, Wetlands Protection Act Form 3, the Notice of Intent form. So that is now correct. It was inadvertently checked last time. Those are the two changes from the last time. Our applicant is currently traveling in China. Contact has has proven to be very difficult. I believe they have parterre on, have a relationship with those folks, but I have not seen anything with regard to the invasive mitigation plan to date.
Okay. So we're waiting for that piece. Joe Orzel, do you have any outstanding comments you want to go over?
Well, the invasive species management plan was one.
Yeah.
I was going to point out that they did add the delineation and the buffer zone, which includes a small portion at the end of the driveway. Acknowledging that the culvert does meet the general stream crossing standards. Let's see. The project describes performance standards relative to impacts to BVW and to land underwater ways, water bodies and waterways. It does not describe the impacts to inland bank, although those would be temporary, I believe. Would recommend just again a short narrative on the bank performance standards and how those are met for the record. And I had a question. I don't know if this was answered previously. On sheet 2 of the project plan, there included a note to refer to box culvert plan by MS Corp dated 5/18/17 for details and temporary stream bypass protocols. Would just request that the applicant indicate whether that reference still applies after the revised stream crossing plans had been submitted, or if that needs to be updated to the newer plans. And that was it for our remaining comments.
Okay. All right, so Joe Marco, I got another narrative there. Couple plan things. Did we get all of the PIBs around on the other side? It's off page right now on the screen. On the other side of the house.
Oh, no, we did not. My apologies.
Okay. Okay, so while we're taking care of the other things, if we could get those added,
Absolutely.
that'd be great.
Through the chair,
Yes.
might also recommend them around the replication area since you've got another house right in front of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Anything else to add, Judy, besides that?
Nope.
Okay. Anyone on the commission have any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience?
Yeah, hi. My name is Steven Zhu. I'm the son of the homeowner.
Okay.
Just a quick update regarding the invasive plants plan. Our guy said he told us today that he no longer has time to work on this project, so we're kind of back to square one for the invasive plants. So that's just an unfortunate update. And it sounds like this invasive plan is a must before we can move forward. Is that correct?
It is, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
sorry to hear that, but yes. Hopefully you can find another one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think Joe is already working on that. He's getting us in contact with another group.
Okay. Okay,
Through the
thank you
chair.
for the update. Yes.
Through the chair, this is Ed.
Yes, Ed.
Is that parterre that you've been working with?
Parterre was originally contacted, Ed, and then we shifted to Dave Burke because he gave us the impression he could deliver a little bit more quickly, but workloads and issues in his personal life have made that impossible. So we are back firming up things with Parterre.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I just, I have done work with Parterre and I've been very impressed with them so far. Sorry, hang on, my phone is screaming at me. Anyway, good luck. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
So with that being said, Joe Marquardt, does it make sense to continue this out to September to give a little more time for the invasives, or do you want to do August 19th? That was our next meeting.
I prefer to do August 19th.
Okay.
I think Parterre is quite frankly ready to roll, so we just
Yeah.
have to give them authorization.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my parents would agree with that date. They would like to move forward as soon as possible.
Okay. We'll do that then. I'll ask for a motion to continue this out to August 19th meeting. Can I get a motion?
This is Ed. I'll make that motion.
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. All right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mhm. All right. I think we did it. Filter through all the crossouts. Oh, I don't think I missed anything. No public forum requests or anything else, Judy and Anna, that
Nope,
we need to cover?
that's it.
Okay.
Thank you all for your understanding for my tardiness.
Yeah, no problem.
Well done. Well done, Melissa. I'd love to hear you read the opening, Ted.
Yeah, well,
It's like almost-
I'm here for you. I'm here for Melissa.
No, you definitely got a good radio voice. See y'all.
Can I just really quick before we go, Jim and Ed, I think you've been at the farmers market every weekend. I'm just curious how you think that effort's going. Is this worthwhile for us? Is it? Are you still here, Jim?
Well,
Speaking for
yeah, I'm
myself,
here.
Jim's complaining. Speaking for myself, I found them interesting, and I would like to. I mean, the first time I went, I came to also do open space, and I would think that it would be in our interest to maybe try to also get Halt or someone. Not so much that, we want to promote them, but I think that will bring more people in, and I think it will be more useful. I also want to point out that Melissa did a great job with lollipops and things like that. And she trapped a whole bunch of kids, which then brought their parents. And so the whole concept that we've kind of touched on, that by capturing kids' interest, you also manage to capture the parents.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And we've got books out like bird guides and all that stuff, because the kids are the ones that are going to sort of be attracted first, and then you can try to get the grown-ups in. But I'll say this, there have been very few Hopkinton folks there, largely Upton, Grafton, Uxbridge, and all these other, Milford. So, maybe 1 out of 5 are Hopkinton. I think it's been good. And I think Melissa's suggestion or we already booked Family Day, that's probably going to be a better place to spread the word too. I agree. Open space, Halt would be great as additions to that sort of corner, and bring more people in for a number of things. And by the way, Ed brought some cuttings of invasives to the last one. It's 2 times ago, which was very good. Got to show those around to people. But anyway, I think it's been good. I'm not available for September's or October's, maybe September, but I'm definitely not available for October. So, but I'll be around for the 5th.
Okay. I was going to say, I think September, because Family Day's in September. I want to say it's September 13th or 14th. 13th.
Yeah.
So I'd be in favor of just, because it's a lot of time commitment for people to volunteer their weekends to do these things. So I think if we skip the farmers market for September and we just do Family Day instead, that would get my vote.
Okay. Can I put up a sign that says we'll be join us at Family Day?
You can bring
people would
Ed's
miss
face.
it?
Yeah.
Cut out of Ed's face.
That's right. We can put all of our faces there. Everybody take a selfie and print it off, send it to Judy, and then we'll put them on stakes. And we can just pot them in the ground there. I like it. Or on a rope. You can hang them from a rope. There you go. But no, that's good. Family Day is going to be good. And then at some point, maybe some outreach at the library. But it's been kind of fun. It's been fun watching the llama guy across the street, that's for sure.
Those who haven't been there can't appreciate that. And the other thing from my perspective, seriously, is I find this Zoom meeting to be unfriendly, and getting to touch base and see people in the flesh is a big improvement for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good point. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'll also mention the vacancy went up or is currently being voted on at select board. So as of tomorrow, people can apply for it. So spread the word. Anyone you know who might want to apply.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, that raises a point. I think, Melissa, you saw this too. My wife looked online, and we apparently have 3 vacancies, which means Ed, me, and Melissa aren't on the roster on the town website as of Sunday.
It's a glitch.
I don't know if
We're
that's-
fixing it.
Okay, cool.
It's
Because
not
I was really afraid we weren't going to have a quorum tonight if the 3 of us weren't here.
So, Jim, that brings up an interesting thing, and I've emailed Connor twice, and I haven't gotten a response. But I did whatever it is that I have to do to tell everybody I know how to deal with bad situations and conflict of interest and stuff. And somehow or another, seemingly the state has lost that, but yet I filed it with Connor, so I need to follow up on that. Thanks for the reminder.
And then you got to swear in. You got to bring that piece of paper that says you did the ethics.
Yeah, and I did that. I swear.
Oh.
I swear I did that.
Did you swear in?
I swore.
That's not the same thing. Did you raise your right hand when you swore?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, maybe you're covered then.
Yeah.
Join Ed and Jim at the farmer's market, and you can listen to these conversations for 4 hours.
That is absolutely true. You're right. You're right. Joe,
Okay, I got one piece of trivia, and then I'm going to go. I want to talk about a unique capability of many fish, not all fish, but salmon specifically and other fish smell in stereo. Their olfactory senses work in stereo. Think about that.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. It's too late for that one.
But I did not read that online.
Can they sense natural disasters like mosquitoes can, apparently?
I don't know. But Ed, maybe we put you on trivia cards for Family Day. You can work on that.
Melissa, you can put me on for anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
send out our list of ideas. We had probably too many. So once we got closer to Family Day, I'll shoot out some emails about what we're thinking.
Okay, yeah.
Suggestions.
That'd be great.
That's when?
Great.
September 13th.
September 13th, Saturday.
Yep. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Can I get a
I'll
second?
second.
All right.
I'll
All in
second.
favor, Ed?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ted?
That is an aye.
Heather?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
You.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you again.